Right, this is Aswad Walker, Associate Editor of the Defender Network. We're doing an article on COVID-19 and how it has impacted the high school class of 2021. We are honored and humbled to have three incredible young people join us today. Instead of me introducing them, I'm going to have each one of them introduce themselves. Give us your full name, what high school you go to. Let's start with Dua.
Hello, everyone. My name is Dua Rashid, and I attend Lamar High School.
Right. Ms. Walker.
Hello, my name is Anana Walker, and I attend Lamar High School as well.
All right. And Mr. Reynolds.
Hello, my name is Marshall Reynolds, and I attend Willow Ridge High School.
Willow Ridge High School. Mr. Reynolds, I heard that that was the greatest high school in the known universe. Is that true?
True.
That is true. Okay, I just wanted to confirm. Okay. First question for the group, and whoever wants to start off, feel free. So, how did you choose to do school this year? Did you do it virtually? Did you do it in person, or was there a mix?
I chose to do school virtually just because I wanted to take every safety precaution that I could. Both my parents are older, and so, of course, COVID does affect older people more since their immune system is much different than someone who's younger. So I just wanted to be respectful and acknowledge that. And also, that's a very populated school. We have many, many students. So for safety, for me, I wanted to make sure that I wasn't surrounded by multiple students a day, and not everybody, there are so many variables that play into it. So not everybody wears the mask properly or, sanitizes their hands. So I chose virtual because I wanted to be as safe as possible, and I knew my home could provide that.
Okay, all right.
I also chose to do school virtually because of safety precautions that are here at home. And I also wanted to be comfortable. I felt that senior year is my year. I just wanted to get all my work done and make sure everything was completed to the best of my ability. And I felt that I could do that here at home.
All right. Thank you, Ms. Walker. Marshall?
I chose to do school face to face this year. One of the main reasons why I chose face to face was because I didn't want this year to be different from the others, So
Okay.
I wanted to, make sure I got that full, senior year experience. And then at the same time, make sure that we're following all the rules, safety precautions so that no one gets sick.
So did everyone feel good about the decision that you made?
Yes, I
Yes.
did.
Okay. Well, with that, this being your senior year, what were some of the biggest challenges going through such a big year dominated by the pandemic?
I'd say one of the biggest challenges was has to be like having like multiple transitions of like kids that come from virtual to face.
Mm,
So, it became more of a stretch with following the safety precautions because, not everyone was going to wear their mask and sanitize their hands and do what was said. So yeah, that's been one of the biggest challenges.
So you mean there was, I don't know if wave is the right word, but you had some students that would come in from virtual to in person, then you'd have another group come in. Is that what you're talking about?
So it was an option
Uh-huh.
before Christmas break that you can, if you're virtual, then you can choose to come back face to face, or if you were face to face, you can choose to go virtual. And so many students chose to come back face to face. And I
Mm-hmm.
felt like it kind of messed up the flow of how things are ran at school.
Mm. Okay. I get that. What about you two Lamar Texans?
Anana, you want to go first? Or I can go, your choice.
Could you go first?
Sure. I believe the greatest challenge that I faced was just isolation in general. It's, when you're younger, you're connected with so many social groups. A lot of people have more than just one friend group. And so being away from all of that is very difficult. Of course, you can text, you can Snapchat, do whatever, but it's not the same as seeing the person face to face. And so when you're at home and you're doing the same exact thing every single day, time just kind of blends in. The days just go by, and a couple months into quarantine, honestly, I couldn't even tell you what the date was. The time just blends in so much. And so everything is the same thing. You wake up, do homework, go to sleep, and just repeat. And so I think normalcy and just isolation were the biggest challenges.
So how did you deal with that challenge?
I still kind of am, if I'm being honest. Like, at first it was super tough because it's your senior year, and a lot of the friends you have now, you might not have next year because not everyone's going to the same college. And so, if I'm being completely honest, I don't have the answer because I'm still trying to figure it out. But everyone, as quarantine kept on becoming longer, people realized like, oh, the pandemic isn't going to go away in a month or two. So everyone was like, okay, we need to figure out how to stay connected. We need to, whether it's texting every day, FaceTiming every day, we need to figure out something. So a lot of people did that. So I think that's a good solution as well.
Okay. All right. What about you, Anana?
For me, a challenge that I faced was in terms of dance. So I'm on the dance team at Lamar, and we have class during 7th period. So in the beginning, we had to learn dances online because we didn't have practice at school. And I think that was a really big challenge for me because I can't learn a dance from a screen. I'd like to be there in person. And then additionally, it was hard to bond with the team because the team was mostly new. So we didn't really get to see each other in person a lot. Now we do, but it's just not the same.
Yeah. Okay. Was your team ever able to make that bond? And
I think we are, but I think it could be a lot stronger if it wasn't for COVID, because a lot of the bonding that came from LDT was from competitions, competing together, being there in person, the energy, the environment, supporting each other, and just having fun. Yeah. And it's not the same because we compete virtually.
Right. So you all shared the challenges. What about some of the best moments of this year? Memorable moments, things that stood out. We could start with you, Anana, and then go around.
Something that was really cool that was set up by our school and the PTO was a senior movie night. We all got to hang out on the football field with our Lamar towels and watch a movie. And then another thing, it hasn't happened yet, it's going to happen later in May, is our LHS Fest. So instead of having a prom, we're doing like formals and flip-flops where all the seniors can hang out, listen to music, and eat food. So that should be really fun.
All right, cool. What about you, Dua?
I believe that I really impressed myself with my ability to adapt. Stephen Hawking once said that intelligence is the ability to adapt to a situation. And so I feel like every student and teacher that was, taught in virtual school and learned whether virtual or in person, there was a huge shift from what we felt last year. And so just adapting to the circumstances and just, trying to make sense of the situation, I think that was the best part because I learned a lot about myself and about my ability and just how strong we are as students and how, of course, the pandemic is nothing to take lightly, but I think we managed well as students and faculty.
That sounds like something that's going to benefit you moving forward, right? Learning more about
right.
yourself. And then, to quote Stephen Hawking, gold star for that. Mr. Reynolds, what about you, man?
I say one of my best and most memorable moments from this year is when I received my first acceptance letter from a school. I felt that before senior year started, I felt that it was going to be, a tough and bumpy road. And obviously it has. But, just getting that acceptance letter, it made me realize that, all this hard work is starting to pay off. And so, I'm going somewhere in life. And so that
Okay.
made me feel happy.
Where was that first acceptance letter from, and where are some of the other acceptance letters that you got from?
My first acceptance letter was from the University of Mary Hardin Baylor.
Okay.
And I got a few others from Lamar, TSU,
Mhm.
Langston, schools like that.
Right. So have you made a decision? Are you still weighing your options?
Uh, I'm I pretty much narrowed down my option to Mary Hardin Baylor. So
Oh,
I
okay.
think that's a school I'm considering to go to.
So you're making the formal announcement right here, right now. Go ahead, young
Yes,
man.
I am.
Go ahead, brother. Um, so Dua, you alluded to this, but I want to ask everyone. Do you feel like there was something that you missed out on in terms of, the traditional senior year? And if so, what was it? And anybody can go first.
I believe that for me, senior year is all about just the sense of community because you've been with these people for 4 years now, and not everyone is going to be your friend, but people, and they're your classmates, they're your peers, and you respect them, they respect you, and having that taken away your last year is very tough. It strains a lot of relationships. Like going into school, there are people who I've I considered my best friends, but now we don't really text anymore. And so it's hard to see friendships fade away as time goes by. And it's your last year. You want to be together with everyone, soak up all the memories because not everyone's gonna be in the same state as you. Some people are going abroad. So I think just being together and the closeness you have with your class was kind of taken away.
Yeah. And for you, Mr. Reynolds?
Picking up from what Dua said, I believe, that my relationships with my friends and other peers started to fade away due to the fact of how tough it's been this year. These last 4 years they've been pretty rough. But I feel that with my friends that they've kind of made these last 4 years better, if that makes sense.
Yeah, yeah, it does. It does. And Miss Walker?
Yeah, I agree with what both Dua and Marshall said. I think a lot of our relationships have been strained, and I think that's one of the things I regret, not putting in more work to reconnect with these people and just continue to have a strong bond with them.
Okay, okay. Well, thanks for being so transparent, all three of you. Um, just a couple more questions. And this one's about COVID itself. Uh, did COVID hit any of you or any of your family personally? And if so, what was that experience like?
It didn't
Um,
hit me personally. It hit my mom, but
Mm-hmm.
she did have to, quarantine for I think 2 weeks,
Mm-hmm.
and it affected me because I was around her a lot prior to experiencing the symptoms. So I was kind of worried for myself while also
Yeah.
worried for her.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Marshall?
Personally, it didn't hit me, and thank God it didn't hit no one in my family. But
Mm-hmm.
I feel like it's impacted us mentally,
Mm.
if that makes sense, because um, it's brought down a lot of our hopes in terms of like what we want to do and how we want to accomplish that.
Mm-hmm.
And so like, it's just been pretty tough.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. And Dua?
COVID did affect my family. It affected my father. And so it was very tough to see my dad because, there's some people who experience very mild symptoms,
Mm-hmm.
but for my dad, it was a bit more aggressive, so to speak. And, at the worst of it, when his fever was high and he was very sick, he couldn't even talk. Like he would
Wow.
communicate through blinking. And so it's really hard to see a loved one go through that. And of course, like you have to quarantine and stay away. And so I'd have to like FaceTime my dad just to see him in the morning. And, that's really tough. And it was very mentally and emotionally straining. But, thank God he's doing better. And it's just, I heard a news reporter say that a lot of people don't understand the impacts of COVID unless it like unfortunately hits you or someone in your family. And I believe that's very true. A lot of these people, whether like you're on spring break and you're careless about COVID, they don't understand the repercussions of it unless someone they see faces it. So when like Anana faced it with her mom, I faced it with my dad, and you see it up close, that's when you really build an empathy towards what's going on.
Yeah. On a whole different note, what will you miss most about high school? Yeah, this is your senior year, but like each one of you have said, you've been with these same friend groups for 4 years now, and for some of them, you may have even gone to middle school with them. So, what are you going to miss most about high school? Let's start with Dua, and then go to Marshall, and then Anana.
I think something I'm going to miss the most about high school is just, like you said, I hope this isn't a boring answer, but just the bond that we have, because there are people I've known for 7 years, combining middle school and high school, and just the love between us. It's really hard. Kids don't get enough credit for growing up in this day and age. It's very hard to be a teenager at this time and growing up, and some things you can't talk to your family about. And so with your friends, they're your family away from home. And it's just so nice to see them and be comfortable around them because they're your people. That's your group. That's the people who you text whenever you're having a problem or anything like that. You tell them all these things. And so I think the bond is what I'm going to miss more than anything. And it's kind of tough to start over with new people, but relationships, that's how they work, and it's worth it. But I'm just going to miss the people themselves.
Okay. And Marshall?
I'll say one thing I'm gonna miss about high school is the environment. I'd say it's been it's been a pretty cool, pretty chill environment. And I'm gonna miss the energy that, in terms of sports, I'm gonna miss the energy that we had at the football games. Just coming together and just, bonding as a whole school, as a family, if I would say. I'm gonna miss all that.
Okay. All right. Anana?
And I'm going to miss the bonds that I have with my friends right now. I'm also going to miss what I have with LDT, with the people in LDT, and just other school functions such as sports games. I never got to go to any of those, and I really wanted to. So I think I regret just not taking advantage of the opportunity and not going with my friends. So that's what I'm going to miss.
Okay, well, that's what we're going to miss. But what are you looking forward to next year? Like, what are your plans this fall? Let's go
Well,
with you.
I'm going to the University of Houston to study exercise science and kinesiology. I think I'm going to look forward to dorming on campus. I feel like that's just going to be a sleepover every single night. And I feel like that'll make the bond I have with my friends even stronger. Because as I said earlier, I think our bonds have been strained. We haven't talked as much. So I think the next 2 years, that'll make up for it.
Okay. So you said you're going to the University of Houston. Do you have any friends from Lamar that will be going there as well?
Yes, Dua is also going there. And then a couple of my other friends as well.
Okay. I heard there's an excellent African-American studies class taught by someone I know personally. So, I'll give y'all the name a little later. Make sure you sign up for that class. But yeah, let's go to you, Dua.
I, like Anana, am going to UH, and surprisingly, we're both majoring in kinesiology, which is amazing. Wow. And I plan to become a physician assistant in emergency medicine. Like, that's the end goal. And I'm just so excited to grow as a person and to become a healthcare provider and just to, I don't know, become an adult. It's it's the next 4 years. Of course, college, the high school to college transition is very difficult, but I look forward to it. Like, then again, it's the ability to adapt. And so the next 4 years, I plan to work hard like I've been doing in high school and just to grow as a person and become an adult.
Okay. All right, Mr. Reynolds, you made that official announcement, man.
Yes, sir, I did.
Uh,
I would be attending UMHB, and I will be majoring in photography and fine arts.
all right.
What I want to do is I plan to become a photographer slash videographer when I grow up. And one thing that I say, I don't, one thing I will get used to or have to get used to is adapting to that environment. Belton, Texas is a very small city, so I feel like, you know, I won't know a lot of people, but I will get used to knowing those people, if that makes sense.
Okay. You'll get used to knowing those that you are exposed to.
Right,
I
right.
can't even imagine having to do the whole college search, where am I going to go, college application, all that during a pandemic. Were there any specifically, I guess, pandemic related issues that impacted either your choice of school or just how you went through the whole process? Let's start with you, Dua.
One of the most pressing issues with the pandemic, well, my choice for U of H was pretty solid because everyone in my family goes there. So it's like they're all well connected. And so that was good. But like campus tours was very tough. Anana and I, we signed up for virtual orientation, which has never happened in the history of UH. And so like just getting a feel for the school and getting that school spirit in you, I haven't felt that yet. And I feel like that's heavily due to the pandemic. Um, orientation, you actually go to UH and you stay the night in the dorms and you tour the entire campus, but we won't be able to do that this time. And so I feel like that definitely was caused by the pandemic.
Yeah. Anyone else care to answer that?
Picking up from what Dua said, I'd say that, I haven't really got to feel that campus life yet. And
Hmm.
it's something I want to get used to, something I want to be able to grasp. That makes sense. I want to meet new people and build a connection with them.
Okay. Um, Go ahead, Anana.
Yeah, I'd say the same thing. It's hard to get excited about campus life, about UH, about college, because who knows what will happen in the future. I think, well, I know UH was already like a set option. I was going there because my sister goes there, but I think the excitement just hasn't kicked in yet. I'm still waiting for it.
Okay. All right. Um, did any of your parents and or siblings drive y'all crazy during the pandemic?
Yes.
Not bad. It wasn't bad. No. We seem to get along very well.
Okay. And
Yeah,
and
no
Marshall,
trouble.
your mother is right there next to you right now, right? So
Right.
I'm sorry. Go ahead, Anana.
Oh, I was just saying no trouble. I think since we all have our own rooms, we're fine. I mean, we still connect with each other, but maybe on occasion, my brother, but that's it.
Okay, and then final question, y'all. And again, I really appreciate you all, your time, your openness, and all that. Last question: what was the biggest life lesson you learned from this senior year experience?
One life lesson I've learned from these last 4 years in high school is to never settle for less.
Hmm.
Always gotta, push forward no matter how hard it gets. And soon you'll see how hard it paid. You see how hard all that work you've done paid off. You know.
Excellent, excellent. Ms. Walker, and then Dula.
I agree with what Marshall said. I feel like that's an important life lesson. And I think another thing to remember is that, you know, there's always something to look forward to work towards. I mean, once you meet one goal, there's like 100 more you can reach.
Okay.
So I think it's important to recognize that.
Yeah.
Similar to what Marshall and Anana said, I agree with both points. I also learned like just the act of resilience and, never giving up. I know that sounds very cheesy, but it's been so tough to navigate through a pandemic. And you just have to adapt to a situation and just go with it. You have to be quick on your feet. You have to think quick, and no matter how badly you might want things to stop or to take a pause, like the world just doesn't stop because you want it to. So you really just have to go with it and adapt to the circumstances that are presented to you.
Okay. If y'all don't mind, I'm gonna ask just one last question because I think this is important. Did any of you ever feel stressed specifically because of this kind of crazy reality that we've been finding ourselves in for the past year and a half? So we can start with you, Dua.
Yes, very stressed if I'm being honest. You know, at the beginning of the pandemic, there were talks of, if people wear their masks and follow the proper protocols and precautions, the pandemic would be done by summer. And as the months went by, you saw these statistics skyrocket. People were dying left and right. Not many were being taken seriously. And it's so tough to live in a world where everything is just so politicized, and wearing a mask that's a healthcare precaution is comes down to political views, and it's really tough to see people suffer in such a bad way.
Yeah.
So I was very stressed, not only with school, but just the state of our world and how bad it became at a time. Because, Texas was doing the worst. And then when Abbott passed the bill of, oh, you don't have to wear a mask, it got even worse. And just things kind of began to dwindle down with the inclusion of politics and a health problem.
So with that stress, how did you deal with it? What did you do to not go crazy?
Well, for me, I made sure that my family was like always safe. So like
So you were the
my mother.
healthcare provider for the house.
Exactly. Yes. Like my mother, she had cancer, and so she's already immunocompromised. And so she's like my top priority, making sure that nothing happens to her. Because, if anybody has a past illness, they're more susceptible to getting COVID. And so, you walk into the street and you see people going to the corner store with like their shirt over their face. That's not a mask. And so just trying to make sure that you're okay and your family is okay, that's like the biggest peace of mind that you can get, because other people aren't going to follow what you say. You can only do what you have the ability to, and that's just control yourself and your family.
All right, thank you. Marshall and then Anana.
I'll tell you personally, for me, it's been a pretty stressful year alongside with, some good things that have happened. But yeah, picking up from what she said, this whole COVID situation is really it's taking a toll on, school, how things run.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, I have to agree with that. I think in the beginning, I was okay with, staying home and quarantining because I'm a homebody. I don't really like to go out. But then things just started to progress. I was stressed and I wanted to get out. But it was really hard because there were people outside who didn't follow the mask mandate. And I think that really stressed me out as well.
Okay. Well, prayerfully moving forward, folk will do the right thing, man. Wear the mask, social distance, vaccinate, do whatever you need uh, to make this thing right. Well, again, I want to thank all of you for your time, for your candor, for all of that. Good luck to each and every one of you with the rest of your senior year and all the great years to come. Please remember to send that high resolution, full color photo, and I will remember to inform you when The video clips will be made available on our website and social media, and when the actual articles come out. Cool.
Yes, thank you so much.
All right. Thank y'all. Y'all have a great weekend.
Take
You too.
care.
Thank you.
Goodbye.
Bye-bye.
Bye.